What is going on YouTube? And welcome back to my channel, JoJo Speaks. Thank y'all so much for joining me for this being my 8 p.m. live Hot Topics and Social Commentary show. I'm so glad that you guys have decided to join me for this. This should be a great hour of fun and chit chat and, tea spilling and all that good stuff. Couple things I want you guys to do before we get started. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. Press that big subscribe button. It is free and easy to do. It takes less than a second to mash that thing. So go ahead and mash it so you don't miss a video. Also, be sure to leave a thumbs up for this video and all of my other ones. Let me know you're enjoying the content that I'm putting out on my channel. Be sure to leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on the hot topics and social commentary we're discussing on tonight. Also, be sure to press the notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. Last but not least, be sure to share JoJo Speaks. That's always a tongue twister. Share JoJo Speaks with all your family, friends, and loved ones. Let everybody know JoJo Speaks is out here in these YouTube streets. Quick announcement. My family is going on a cruise next week. So therefore, there will be no JoJo Speaks content coming out anytime next week. No 90 Day Fiance video on Monday and no Hot Topics and Social Commentary next Thursday. So I will be taking a break next week, but I'll be back the week after to resume my content. So please be patient with me as I take a week off break from YouTube, and my family enjoys their cruise. The reason why I'm not going on the cruise is because the cruises really have just never been my thing. It's not to say that they're not fun. I mean, I always love eating on the cruise. That's mainly the best part about it for me. I did not want to go on the cruise. So that's why I'm not going. But I'm sure my family will have an amazing time together. It's a 7-day cruise on Carnival. So that should be great. But anyways, a couple things I want to do, want to discuss before Jennifer gets in. And we'll get to your comments once Jennifer gets here. This whole Rashida and K. Michelle thing that's going on. Here's my thing. Never been the biggest fan of Rashida whatsoever. My thoughts on her and her relationship, are pretty much the same as the majority of everyone else who has been watching her story since the first season of Housewives of Atlanta. Not Housewives of Atlanta, but Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. But, K. Michelle singing her Rashida Got Bags song at her show, and then Rashida commenting under the Shade Room post of that particular instance. She's saying that, Rashida is saying that she lives rent-free in K. Michelle's head. And also Rashida and Kirk released a video talking about VIP passes to a concert that she was doing, playing into the whole, you want to call in a friend and saying you want to go to a Rashida concert. I have to say that I respect Rashida for leaning into this whole thing. I respect Rashida for taking this on the chin. I think Rashida truly does understand where she stands in the music department. I think she understands where she stands in the minds of a lot of the viewers of the show that she's a part of. I think Rashida knows what she's doing, and she knows how to play the game, because she could have come out real mad, real angry, real upset, real like, I can't believe y'all doing this to me. And, she could get a big head and think that she's bigger than she really is. So I have to give props to Rashida for really taking this massacre of shade being thrown towards her. She's taking it so well, and she could be taking it the entire opposite direction. So shout out to Rashida for taking this on the chin. I still ain't going to no Rashida concert, but shout out to her for understanding and being a part of the joke. Also, a owner of a Houston restaurant called Trump Burger, he faces deportation following an ICE arrest. And that is not the only person of Hispanic heritage that has been known to be a Trump supporter and being detained by ICE. So that should show you that Trump don't care about y'all. That straight up, Trump don't care about y'all. He don't care about nobody but himself, y'all. It does not pay to support that man. Anyways, also, a story that we spoke on last week with Clarissa Shields, saying that she wants to fight Layla Ali. Apparently, Layla Ali said no to the potential match. And Clarissa said, I understand that she's scared. That's the type of jargon, as Kimberell would say, that I would expect to hear from a fighter. Of course, they're going to think they're the best. Of course, they're going to think that nobody wants to get in the ring with them. So I completely understand why she took that route in responding to Layla Ali declining to fight her. I don't know how it would have gone because, Layla Ali is a woman of a certain age. Clarissa Shields is a spring chicken practically. And so there's no telling. I'm sure that Layla wouldn't go down, for not knockout in the first round. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure she would put up a fight, but I just don't know how good the boxing match would be. Not to say that I'll actually watch boxing because I really don't. But I don't think it would be a good look for Layla to do that. So I'm actually pretty happy that she has declined doing that matchup. Also, something else that I wanted to bring up really quickly. So Lonnie Love, she was on Watch What Happens Live. I think it was either a week or 2 weeks ago. And she was asked about her beef with Tamar Braxton. Tamar was on Nene's talk show a couple of weeks ago. She called her some type of name. I can't exactly remember what she called Lonnie Love. But it was a derogatory name. Now Tamar did come out a little bit later and apologize for shading Lonnie Love like that. But Lonnie Love said that there is no beef; it's a one-sided beef. Tamar is the one with the issue, and my frustration with Tamar is, I've never seen a completely full episode of Braxton Family Values. I've never seen a full episode of that show, and the main reason why is because Tamar is too much for me. Too much for me. I know a lot of the gays love her because she uses a lot of gay slurs, not gay slurs, but a lot of the gay slang. She uses a lot of our jargon, once again, as Kimberell would say. But for me, she's always putting on, and I feel like she feels like she has to be put on in order to be noticed. And my thing is, just be yourself. If you just be yourself, then people will gravitate towards you. But you being so out there and loud and boisterous and things of that nature, it, at least in my opinion, it doesn't show an actual version of who you actually are. It just shows who you want the world to see you as, how you want the world to see you as. And I don't know if that's such a smart thing for Tamar to do. I will say though that she's really not as animated as she was in the first season of Braxton Family Values. She was on 10 on 100 when she was on Braxton Family Values that first season. But I still think that she has some issues that she needs to work on, and I do hope that she's able to work on those various issues that she has. So shout out to her. Also, Odell Beckham Jr. Don't know if y'all know this, but Odell Beckham Jr. He played in the NFL for 10 seasons. He played for the Giants, for the Browns, for the Rams, as well as the Ravens and the Dolphins, and he has officially decided to retire. I found that news pretty interesting. Odell Beckham Jr. was really, really hot when he first started playing for the New York Giants. I remember that one-handed catch that he had that was continuously being played over and over and over again on all the sports networks. And he seems like I guess his popularity has kind of gone down quite a bit since then. Of course, I saw him in the body issue of ESPN magazine. Of course, I always used to look out for that for obvious reasons. But I don't think they've done that in a couple of years. So I'm thinking that they've stopped doing the body issue for ESPN magazine. But anyways, best of wishes to Odell Beckham Jr. And all his future endeavors. And I'm hitting on a lot of things before Jennifer gets here, child. So Beyonce has won an Emmy, her first Emmy, for the Beyonce Bowl costumes. And so, of course, Beyonce's costume design is always on point, top tier, everything you wanted it to be and more. So shout out to Beyonce for winning her first Emmy for her Beyonce Bowl. That was an awesome thing to see. Excuse me. Also, Wendy Williams' guardianship is upheld amid ongoing health battle. And also, Wendy Williams' lawyer, he disputes the dementia and aphasia claim, says the information reported is a violation of Wendy's rights. Here's my thing. I'll never admit to being the biggest Wendy fan. Yes, when Wendy was on the radio, I was listening to clips of her radio show on YouTube all the time. I watched her TV show when it first came out religiously. I was watching it every single day. But I've never been the biggest supporter or fan of Wendy Williams, mainly because of the different stories that she would produce, and having sources such as Media Takeout as her sources, and repeating those stories out loud on national TV or on national radio. And me personally, I can't really respect that. I really can't get with that. If you can't get off on actual factual things and report on actual factual things and not just rumors from the least of blogs, or news reporting, which is Media Takeout, which I used to read Media Takeout all the time. Like, I used to look at their stories all of the time, and 98% of their stories are a bunch of BS. So for Wendy to use them as a source, as well as other sources as well, unreliable sources as well, I could never really get with that. So, but with all that being said, I do hope the best for Wendy. I hope that she gets the help that she needs. I'm not exactly sure. They say it is dementia and aphasia. I'm not exactly sure what the effects of aphasia are. I've heard of it before, but I really don't know exactly what in the body aphasia affects. But I hope that she recovers, and I hope that she just gets better. I don't think a guardianship is necessarily a bad thing in her case. The reason why or guardianship or conservatorship, whatever it is that she's currently listed under, the reason why she was put under that is because her son was spending up all her money. So, she needs that protection, I feel. Of course, you would think that your family would always have your best interest at heart. You think your family would, always have your back, and, only want the best for you and not steal from you. But sometimes that does end up happening. And so I just hope that Wendy just gets better. I just want Wendy to get better. I want her to get better. Do I think that she'll make it back to TV or radio? I'm not exactly sure. I'm not exactly sure of that. I don't know if I want to see Wendy back on TV or on the radio if she's not in her right mind. So there's that. Anyways, Jennifer has joined us. Hey, Genesita, how goes it? I was running out of stories to talk about without you, girl.
First of all, I would like to say unto you, thank you for your patience. My brain is not exactly here, so I actually there's something else that I need to do. I had a lot to do for work and stuff, so I will be hopping off and hopping right back on.
Okay,
And I would have been on here sooner. You want to know what happened, Jonathan?
what happened?
I realized I was wearing a green shirt.
Oh, that's an issue. That's an issue for that green screen behind you, girl.
Yeah, yeah. So that slowed things down. But let me do that real quick and I'll be right back. Again.
Okay.
Ah,
All right, cool beans. So, anyways, just another Donald Trump story. I might not want to hear this, but Donald Trump has released the National Guard into DC to help with the crime. He also released National Guard, I believe it was California, if I'm not mistaken, in Los Angeles. And this is really just a show of power. He's flexing, trying to, show these cities and show America what he can actually do, and he can do whatever it is that he wants to do unnecessarily. At least in my opinion, I don't think that it was necessary for him to release the National Guard in DC or Los Angeles when there had been no widespread issues in those particular cities whatsoever. Also, he also sent the National Guard into DC to help with our homeless issues, the homeless problems that were going on there, and arresting any homeless people who refuse to go to a shelter. Um, again, anything that Donald Trump does, it does not surprise me whatsoever. He's going to do whatever it is that he wants to do. And we just got 3 more years to put up with his antics, and maybe not even a whole three years if he makes it. But it is what it is. Jennifer, do we have any comments to get to before we get into our stories?
We absolutely do.
Wunderbar.
I'll show get to him right now.
Right
Robin
now.
is here right now.
Hey, Auntie
Robin,
Robin.
she says, "Hey y'all, it's been over a year." Maybe she was talking about something that you were saying earlier that I didn't know about.
I
Wait,
think I
this was
talked about
at
like four.
this. She said that at 7:58. So yeah, you weren't even on at that time.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
She says, but I'm on the line. But I'm on the line from my hospital bed. Aw.
I hope you get better really soon, Auntie Robin. We praying for you, girl.
Jeez Louise. Yeah. Bianca's here. Hello, Bianca.
Hey, Bianca.
Miss Kim is here. She says, "Hey, Jonathan. Hey, Robin. Hey, Bianca."
Good evening, Miss Kim. Greetings and salutations, my love.
She Bianca says, "Hey, Miss Robin Moore. I hope you get well soon, and happy Thursday to Miss Kim." Bianca says, "All Rashida is pretty. That's about it. That's all she
She is
gives.
real pretty, for sure. She got that
Very
face, honey.
pretty. She does, and it wouldn't. And yeah, can't deny that. Praise the Lord." Miss Kim says Rashida has bigger fish to fry. Music
She
should
sure
be the
does. We're going to get to that next.
music should be the last thing on her mind. Her son needs a good defense lawyer. True. Bianca says Miss Kim, and if her and Kirk came and got him from that scene, they'll need one too. You know what? Let me go ahead and do this right now because the wrong banner's been going for a long time. Let me change that one.
Long time.
Hmm.
There we go.
That's the one. All right, back to it. Dustin is here, y'all.
Hey,
Uh,
Justin.
uh, Bianca says, "Happy Thursday to Dustin." Miss Kim says, "Tamar is the poster child for too much. Remember how she cut up with Craig, the writer, at T.S. Madison show? A mess."
Mm,
I certainly was available for all of that carrying on, and she really showed how when you're going up against Craig the writer, I feel like you kind of expose how unlearned you are.
mm,
He he gathered her decisively. I almost felt sorry for her, and it's not like he came at her, Jonathan. It was like,
mm-hmm.
well, let's just talk about it. Let's have the conversation, and she just wanted to,
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? God bless.
that was
Um,
Craig the writer.
yeah, I'm. This is why I tell you, Jonathan. You need to be watching T.S. Madison.
I know. I know.
You be missing the gatherings and of the things. Tamar showed up to one of T.S. Madison and Craig DeRotta's show to FAG talk.
Okay.
And yeah, and they talked about it afterwards too. It was enjoyable to see. And of course, one thing I do kind of like is that T.S. Madison, she's such a friend to so many people out there. And
Mm-hmm.
so Tamar's one of her friends. Though she did, tell some truths and stuff like that. She tried to, hey, that's my friend, chill out.
Right.
Anyway, reality with Chris, Krista Marie is here.
Hey, Krista. Thank you so much for joining us, my love. So glad you're
Uh,
here.
Robin says, Wendy had ownership of media takeout per Karen Hunter. Say what?
Oh, no wonder she was using them as a source. Well, that doesn't surprise me whatsoever.
Media
I had
takeout
no
was
idea.
fun, especially
It
back in the
was.
day.
I used to look at it all the time,
When
all
we
of
when
the
we had
time.
that old computer. I would check media takeout often. Back at
Yes,
home.
yes, that's
Yeah.
what I was just talking about.
Mhm.
That's what that's exactly what I was just thinking about. I can remember living at our old address, looking at media takeout every single day, honey.
Every day with that, computer that we waited outside of Best Buy on, on, Black Friday on.
Yes, that e-machine, honey. The e-machine. That's the only computer we ever had. E-machine.
That was the family computer, okay? And we,
Okay,
killed
we
it
don't need
with
no HP, no Dell, none of that fancy, dancy, smancy stuff.
but we sure did use hot wire, bare share, and everything above and below it, and we also use,
Okay.
okay, making CDF
Morpheus,
CD,
LimeWire. Okay.
okay? All of it, okay?
After what I tell you, I've made so many mixtapes for my friends. It's ridiculous. Okay, unasked for, unsolicited. Honey, here you go. Listen to
And
this
and
now.
and let me
I made it.
now, because 'cause I'm a genius. Let me tell you something.
Yes.
Mama, I don't think she knew what was going on with it, but we were doing those things with that. Mhm. Anyway, Krista Marie says, "Hi, Robin, and hi, Jonathan and Jennifer. Hello, hello, hello unto you." She sends hugs to Robin, says hi to Dustin. Miss Kim says, "Hey, Jen." Uh, Miss Robin says, "Aphasia affects the ability to find words."
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much for that, Auntie Robin, because I had no idea. I've been watching the first season of Scandal again. No, not the second season of Scandal. And when Fitz got shot on his birthday, they said that aphasia could be an effect of that. I should have looked it up right then and there. But thank you so much, Auntie Robin.
Um, Bianca says, "Happy Thursday to reality with Krista Marie."
Hey,
Erin!
Erin. Thank you so much for being here, my love. So glad to see you in the comments, boo.
Hello, welcome. She made sure to say hey to everybody. Excuse me. Bianca said hey to Erin, and Erin said hey to Bianca, Miss Robin, Miss Kim, and Reality. And Bianca said, "I used to tear LimeWire up.
All the way up.
Torn. I mean, LimeWire was the best. Top notch. Okay? Top notch. They always had the music. Because even when
Always.
if you did Bear Share and stuff like that, okay, man, look, but no, LimeWire was it. Oh,
Morpheus was pretty good as well. I'd say Morpheus might have been second best.
okay. And Erin, she gave some hearts. That's so sweet. Yeah, but LimeWire, that was my main.
So the biggest story that we have going is the unfortunate aliving of Atlanta rapper T Hood. T Hood's life was taken by Kai Frost. The situation was that T Hood was apparently
Allegedly.
dating, allegedly, yes, thank you for that. T Hood was apparently dating Kelsey Frost. Apparently, something went down between T Hood and Kelsey. Not exactly sure what was happening, but she apparently called her
Was
brothers over.
think she was concerned about some possible DV.
Gotcha. Okay. So she called her brothers over, and at the end of the day, Kai Frost ended up unaliving T Hood. Now I did see
Allegedly.
allegedly. Now I did see another story on the Shade Room that authorities are investigating the fatal shooting. So I shouldn't have said that sh word. The fatal unaliving of rapper T Hood as a possible case of self defense. I'm not exactly sure how far that's going to go, but allegedly, Kirk and Rashida went to the scene of the crime, ended up picking up their children, and whisking them away. So, to be honest, I really don't have much to say about this whole story. I think it's always sad when someone loses a life, especially when someone loses a life over mess, over BS. And you know when you call somebody over who's about that life, to handle a situation that you got with somebody else, you know what you typically know what's going to happen. So I also heard that there were some audio recordings out of Kelsey actually discussing this going on. Um, and the whole situation, like sort of kind of like the whole situation that happened, and apparently um, that will probably be used in the trial if there is the trial, if this is not ruled a case of self-defense. But I heard that Kirk is about that life, and apparently he might have allegedly taught his sons the ways of that life. So I hope that there is justice. I hope that there is justice for T Hood and his entire family. A life was lost. I think a lot of times when these big unalivings happen, we always forget about the victims. We always talk about the perpetrator or the suspect, but we tend to forget about the victim. So my condolences out to T Hood's family, friends, and loved ones, all of them. I'm not exactly sure how this might affect Kirk and Rashida. They might be they may be charged. Who knows? Who knows? I think everything is a very preliminary at this time. So I'm sure as time goes on, we'll get a lot more details as far as what charges will be filed because Kai hasn't even been arrested yet. He's just been listed as a suspect. So who knows what's going to happen? Jennifer, what are your thoughts on this whole situation? We talked a little bit about it on Monday. What are your thoughts?
So from you know, I've heard the stories that's going around that, nothing's been substantiated, nothing's been, so of course that's why we heavily use uh allegedly because we don't know exactly what happened. We're just hearing a bunch of stories. We're not even hearing anything from the police, no true news, stuff. So there's
Mm-hmm.
nothing that's been, like set in stone as to what has happened. Um so but one thing that is kind of concerning to me is the part about the sister that is making calls to the family of her now deceased boyfriend, trying to say, I'm doing my best to help make sure that, this is resolved and taken care of. I remember it might have been the young man's mother that she was talking to or a sister, and she was saying that, you know, how was he not arrested if, you told him that he pew-pewed my son?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And and she said, "Brother and not, you know, this needs to be taken care of, I don't stand for that. I lost somebody too." And to let you know how I feel about that, I do feel like it's given like we laying it on kind of thick.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's starting to feel like doth protest too much. She said that people are saying I shouldn't be talking, but I'm talking. I had nothing to do with any of that. No one, I never told anybody to come over and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
And of course then brings up questions. So why did they come over? you
Yeah.
know because
Yeah.
because because it's not like they were all living there. No, they had
Right.
to come over there. So this is really major, and I don't know how true this is. This is why I'm going to preface this as I don't know how true this is, but I've heard that previously her her deceased boyfriend, beat up her brother for trying to get into, their
They're home.
issues. Um
Okay.
yeah, and it sounds like this was like, well, we're coming back with fire, I guess. Who
Mm.
knows? But um, I believe justice needs to be had there. And
Absolutely.
also, if there are parents that are okay with trying to hide something so severe, there needs to be some kind of yeah, you shouldn't have been doing that.
Yeah. Aiding and abetting is not a good look at
Because if it
all.
was me, can I tell you what I would have did?
What?
Oh, I would have came there and picked him up. but we wouldn't be going home.
Oh, straight to the authorities. Okay. Straight. Don't pass go. Don't collect $200. We're going straight to the police department.
And that's why he called his mommy and daddy, because he knew.
He knew.
He knew. If I had a child that was out there committing crimes and things of that nature, they would know
Allegedly.
not to call me.
Right. Right.
I give you a kiss and hug and release you to the authorities.
Okay. As they put them bracelets on your wrist, honey. Okay. Any other comments before we move on to our next story, Genesita?
It's just Miss Kim letting us know that she's driving, so she can't type individual hello. So hello.
Awesome. So I think it was either last week or the week before that, Ari Lennox came out saying that she did not like the way that Pam was treated on the sitcom Martin. She thought that all the jokes about her um,
Colorism.
oh yeah, she said that there was a lot of colorism that went on with that, and they went really hard on Pam. And I do have to say, I've seen quite a few, I think I might have seen all the episodes of Barton. To be honest, I know I had seasons 1 through I think 4 on DVD, if I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely.
So here's my thing. I understand why Ari Lennox said what she said. However, on the flip side of that, every single character on that show was talked bad about. Every single character on the show was talked bad about. Cole was always thought of as the dumbass who couldn't do nothing, couldn't walk straight, couldn't think straight. I was with that big woman. I can't remember, her name was Sheila or
Big
something like that.
Shirley. Is that Big
Shirley.
Shirley? Yeah.
Shirley, yeah, Big Shirley. Tommy, they always got on him about never having a job. Martin was always ragged on about his big ears. Gina was always. I remember Myra talking about Gina at the unemployment office with that high booty yellow girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody got it. Now, I will say that it did seem like Pam got the brunt of it. Like, it seemed like Pam got the most of it, at least in my opinion. Especially when it comes to Martin. And because Martin played, Shanae, and Shanae never liked Pam either. So it really did look like, everybody was getting on Pam, even though Cole and Tommy never really said too many bad things about her necessarily.
It's because he didn't like Pam. Sometimes
Exactly.
when there's a relationship and I'm with her and you, the girlfriend that will tell the truth about me or say he's wrong for doing that to you, what makes you think that he's going to be, in love with the girl?
Right. Exactly. And a lot of times that's the way relationships with your girlfriend's best friend typically goes. You know what I'm saying? So to me, like, it's a comedy show. So that's comedy. So to me, I did not think it was too much. To me, I don't think that they were necessarily ragging on just Pam because, like I said a little bit earlier, everybody on that show could get it. And no one was safe on the Martin show. Everybody got licks on the Martin show. So I get why Ari said what she said, and I'm sure that she felt that way because she is also a brown-skinned woman. And so she's valid in whatever it is that her thoughts are concerning that particular issue. I just don't know if it was the best thing to say it to the world. And I think she did that knowing the backlash that she was going to receive. I'm not sure if she did that necessarily for clout. Maybe she thought, well, I do have an audience, so maybe I should just express myself to my audience. Again, I don't know why this she felt the need to express herself in that way. But I see where she's coming from, but I can't really relate and I can't really agree because once again, everybody on that show was fair game for all the jokes. And they were all funny. They were all funny. My favorite line about Pam was in No Control or some type of control episode where Gina went to work at Shanae's Show Enough Hair Salon for one day. And she asked Gina if she knows how to wash hair. And Gina said yes. And Shanae said, picking Pam's buckshots don't count, okay? So, it's so, I always loved it. But once again, I can understand Ari being a brown skinned girl watching that and feeling like he was talking to her. I get that. But,
sometimes
it's
even
comedy at the end of the day.
Martin and Shanae, excuse me, yeah, Martin and Shanae, there was always a few chance moments where Shanae and Pam and Martin and Pam were able to come together
Yes, yes, absolutely. When
because
when
it's
Pam
like
got hypnotized, and she was in that pink dress and she was acting like Martin. Yeah, 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 yeah.
there's even some times when I forget what they were talking about, but even Pam and Shanae were on the same page about something going against Gina.
Yeah, it was when Shanae came in and Shanae told her to use the obey right under the eyes, the obey, kind of just lift you up a little bit, you know. She said, "You all right where you want to be? All right." Yes,
Exactly.
right.
So here's my thing.
Hmm.
Okay. I really believe this is more about generations than anything
In
because
what way?
back then, and even TV back then, a lot of people were able to take more hits than now. I believe
Yeah,
now people are a lot more sensitive
yeah.
towards things. Um, so when I was watching, Pam and Gina when I was a kiddo, okay, I
Hmm.
never put myself in those shoes because I was never thinking like that because we were young. You know what I'm saying? Now, it may
Right.
be different if I'm looking at it now. I would be like, "Why he always ragging on her?" But then again, it's like, I would understand because he didn't like the girl. Why would he all you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's not
yeah,
like he was gonna come at his girl, so who else he was gonna come at other than his boys? She was in the room.
yeah.
But I do believe there's a bit of sensitivity with generations. Our Linux is younger than both of us.
I just asked Google. She said it says that she's 34, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's like I think you may be more ingrained in the culture because we were certainly watching it and we understood it. And as we got older, we could see it. But I do believe it's about being sensitive towards those things. I don't think that I can't even say I don't think I don't. Okay. I seriously don't believe because I can't say I know for sure because I don't know that man and his thought process and all that stuff.
right.
But a lot of that stuff was improv and they
Hmm.
were all laughing. If you like look at the shows, you can actually know who's laughing out loud.
Right.
You can hear when Pam, especially when Tommy laughing, you can
Hmm.
hear him in the background laughing at all this improv stuff. And they're all laughing at each other, ragging on each other while they're even in the scenes.
Right.
Um, I'm not sure where her headspace is, but it
Hmm.
makes me wonder, like, how does she feel about herself?
Yeah.
And when you look at other stuff and you see people coming at others, why do you see just, yourself in that and you feel slighted in those spaces?
Hmm.
Because once again, e I even remember when Martin, he felt away one day and he said, "If I could, I'd give you hips," to Gina. Like, he went in on her too. So, maybe her heart can't take a jonesing session. Maybe it's
Right.
just for her. And maybe that needs to be the consensus. Maybe that needs to be where I come to so I understand maybe this is not for me. It doesn't make me feel good to watch something like this.
Right.
Um, Now, as far as her trying to do this for clout, I doubt it because she always says weird things on the internet. So
Okay. Okay.
that's just
I had a
her.
feeling that wasn't the case. Yeah.
Yeah. Miss Kim says, "Is Ari aware that Pam isn't a real person?" Miss Kim, I love you dearly. That's what I do. I love
Oh
you.
Lord.
And that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
why are we taking that to heart? What are we feeling about ourselves?
And my thing is, if Tashina Arnold really felt like she was being disrespected as a character and thought that it was too far and too much, she either would have said some or would have walked out the door. One or the other. And she stayed even after
Tashina. No,
Tashina, thank you.
no,
Um,
Tashina stayed after what's her name? Oh, Lord.
Tisha Campbell and
Nisha!
Tashina Arnold. Tisha, yeah. Tisha, even after Tisha left, Tashina stayed on the show. So, you know, she clearly didn't have any issues with it. But
Ooh,
yeah, just like you said, Jennifer, I think it says a lot about Ari Lennox's sensitivity and also seeing herself in Pam and feeling as though Martin wasn't saying those things to Pam. They were saying those things to Ari Lennox. And
that's
she was reacting to it as if that they were saying that to her personally. So
it's like, why are you internalizing
yeah.
the stuff going, being talked about a fictitious character? Yeah, Miss Kim, she made it even worse. It's like Pam's not even real.
Yeah.
Bianca says when Martin and Pam was fighting that thing on vacation, that's one of my favorite episodes because it
Yes.
wasn't a puppy. They
Yes.
came together.
That ain't no damn puppy. They was on one accord with that
Ooh,
thing, child. On
you
one
had to be.
accord.
But that's family. We may talk about each other, we may join each other, but don't come at us.
That's how we do as Black people. Like, you know, we might come for each other, but you know, if we family at the end of the MF and day. And can't nothing come in between us. We might come in between us, but can't nothing outside of us come in between us. Okay?
Okay? Because I can do that. I've been
Right.
here. I
Yes.
can do that. Not you.
Right.
Robert Miss Robert says, can we not spend time talking about Ari Lennox? I'm sick.
I'm sorry, Auntie Robin. If I had known that you had an issue, we will be moving forward momentarily. But if I had known you had an issue, I wouldn't have even brought her name up, child. I didn't see a sore
But
spot for you,
but you can
Auntie
kinda
Robin.
see why once again, this is not the first time she said something out the way that was like, "Girl, are you okay?"
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But pressure is that jam, though. You did that, honey. You did that. You and Jermaine Dupri, honey. But
Oh.
anyways, so moving on, Shakari Richardson. Last week she was placed under arrest following an incident at an airport with Christian Coleman. I don't know if anyone's seen the video, but I've seen the video. Looks like she pushed him a couple of times, and you know there was some DV going on between them. And even Christian came out and said, you know, I don't think that she should be locked up. You know, I think she's a great person. And, you know, I think that's great for a man to ride. I don't even know if they were in a relationship. You would think that they're in a relationship. I don't know if anyone has confirmed that they were in a relationship. But anyways, I applaud him for saying what he said. However, in the same breath, I would wish that he would speak against DV. I would wish that he would speak against men and women who like to put their hands on their significant others, or anyone for that matter. You know, but I'm glad that maybe this is what Shakari needed to understand that she may have a problem and hopefully readjust and fix her desire to put her hands on someone else when she comes up to another disagreement in the future. But you know, it happened. It happened on camera, and she put her hands on the man. And what happens when you put your hands on somebody? You get locked up, and that's all there is to it. Jennifer, what was your reaction to? I don't know if you've seen the video, but what was your reaction to Christian coming to her defense? And Shakari came out, you know, a little bit later with a video saying that she understands what's happening, and you know, all that good stuff, and apologizing as well.
Yeah, I truly believe the ancestors and God and her grandmother are doing what they need to do.
Mm,
Um, I don't believe these things are being exposed because of the accident or whatever. I believe they're being exposed so she can fix it.
yes, exactly,
So,
exactly.
I'm happy it happened. I didn't watch it. I chose not to. But that's the way to get assistance, help when there is not only a mirror up to yourself, but a mirror and like 10 billion people behind you watching with you.
Hmm.
You're able to see yourself in a space where you don't even like.
Yeah,
Um, and especially being put in a position where you absolutely have to say something. You absolutely have to say this is not it. This is because, sponsorships and all that stuff.
right.
We want to make sure we hold on to those things and you got to act right. And here's the worst thing about it, in my opinion.
Uh-huh.
The place that you need to be the bigger person, the most important place where you will always need to be the bigger person. I don't care who you are, and I don't care your temperament. The biggest, most important place where you always need to be the bigger person, unless you win, um, court or whatever,
Right.
is the airport.
Yes.
There's
There are police officers stationed at airports. Specifically, law enforcement stays at the airport. Even the TSA, they're part of law enforcement. They are at the airport. They have the right to enforce the law, y'all.
and and of course they also have the right to keep you from being able to fly ever again.
Exactly. No fly list. January 6th. I ain't forgot.
So so let's do better. And um I think the biggest thing, the lesson for her, is to remember when you're upset, when you are in a space, whether you're in the airport or not, but
Mhm.
when you feel like you about to take it overboard, it's time to walk away
Yeah.
until you learn a better way of coping with your emotions.
And what
I
was your
think
reaction to Christian kind of coming to her defense in a way, saying that, he doesn't think that she should be locked up and, people make mistakes and things of
that's
that
not
nature?
gonna do anything in my opinion,
Right.
but, um, you know, she needs to do the work. I'm not
Yeah.
concerned about him,
Okay. Okay.
unfortunately, but she needs to do her work.
Right.
She needs to go through the process of, first of all, understanding your feelings are valid, yes.
Right.
All of your feelings are valid. Those feelings that come up, those emotions that come up, they're all valid, and you're not gonna be able to stop those things from happening, but what you can stop is how you react to them, what your body does after them, what you say after your emotions hit that way.
Hmm.
You can choose. Your emotions may be so strong where it feels like you can't choose, but you certainly can.
Right.
And I feel like it's time to uh, have those conversations.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Any comments before we move on to the next story?
No, ma'am. I mean, sir. Sorry.
You're good. You're good. So there's this whole thing going on between Cameron and Omar Gooding. Uh, apparently Cameron referred to Omar Gooding as Omar Gooding Jr. And apparently that's what sparked this whole thing off. Omar came out with a diss track against Cameron. And like at the end of the day, Omar Gooding to me is somewhat of a comedian. I don't think that he presents himself necessarily as a comedian, but he has sort of kind of a comedian flair to him. And so, I didn't listen to the diss tracks because I didn't want to put myself through that. I didn't want to do that to myself. However, maybe for journalistic things, maybe I should have. But he put out 3 diss tracks, mind you. And so apparently Cameron had flown Omar Gooding out to Miami to be a part of this production of sorts. And it was supposed to be a movie, and apparently it was a set up by Cameron to just get this dude on camera. And he showed him signing a waiver to be able to release whatever it is that they were recording. And Omar took it on the chin. You know what I'm saying? He said, "Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, you got footage of me. Yeah, this, and that." Here's my thing. I don't take this seriously whatsoever. I don't think that there's really any real beef behind this, because like, who's going to really get upset with you being called a junior if you're not really a junior? I think that Omar just kind of jumped on that and said, "Oh, wait a minute. Cameron and Mace are really on top right now with their podcast. And, let me get on to this so that my name can be, kind of out there in the street so people can start talking about Omar Gooding as well." And, I did not like when Cameron was talking about Omar's chesticles on that video when he was signing, because he had a shirt up, and like, I had no issue with seeing that whatsoever. Personally, I did not have any issue with that whatsoever. So I thought that was disrespectful. That even Omar said, "Who gives a darn about my breast?" It says, "Yes, I got them. I never said that I was skinny. I never said that I was a slim thug." You know what I'm saying? So I think Omar is taking this as a joke, and Cameron is being serious about it. Or unless Cameron is acting like he's being serious about it and just throwing around his money just because he has the money to throw around. Because he was like, I paid $13,000 to go to an NBA game, so I just spent $3,500 on you, nigga. So it's I don't like to see this unnecessary beefing. And once again, I don't see it really as a beef because there's really no issue afoot. There's really no issue at all. It's like, it's petty stuff. It's real petty stuff. But at the end of the day, I do think it was Omar just kind of jumping on the Cameron bandwagon just so that he can get his name out there in these streets so people can start talking about him again. And that's no shade to him whatsoever, because if I was in his position, I might have done the same thing. I probably wouldn't have. But, I can't blame him because it's kind of a smart thing to do, in my opinion. Anyways, before I dig myself into a hole, Jennifer, what were your thoughts on this, if you've been keeping up with it?
It's stupid.
It is very stupid.
But Omar is like that. If you don't say his name right, I'm not surprised he did that. Now this whole thing is disappointing to me. I love Omar Good with all my
I know you do, girl.
I've been in love with that man for a long time.
I get it, girl. I get it, honey. I get it. I take Omar over Cuba any day, girl. But anyways, go ahead.
So I've seen a lot of his interviews and stuff like that and kind of catch some of his mentality. I'm not surprised he did what he did, Jonathan.
Okay. So you think he's serious about this thing?
Child, yes.
Oh no.
I don't believe it's a clout thing. I don't think that's what it is, Jonathan.
Wow.
I do believe that Jonathan, he spent money and created a diss track, Jonathan, that I refuse to listen to.
Yeah, because I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Okay, I'm not here for that kind of foolishness or any kind of foolishness. But I speak like this because I'm incredibly disappointed. But I know, yes,
Oh,
that's him.
that's your man. No, not that's not Jennifer's man. Used to be her man. Okay, she a
That
married
was
woman now.
all the crazy kids.
Okay, yes, wild and crazy child. Okay, that's why Cameron called him a Nickelodeon kid, child. But
He is.
yeah, can't let that go.
Let me tell you, Omar was making money before Cameron was.
Okay, we knew who Omar was before we knew who Cameron was.
Hey, Cameron. Okay, so. But yeah, it's not to put any shade out to anybody, but I do find the whole thing foolish.
It is. It is quite foolish. Anyways, the last story that I wanted to get to before we get on out of here, no more comments to read before we, okay. So it has been rumored, it's not been confirmed, but it's been rumored that Kim Zolciak and Sheree Whitfield will be returning to the Real Housewives of Atlanta for season 17.
Girl.
And Miss Kim texted me. Thank you, Miss Kim, for sending me the text message because we want to make sure that we were talking about this tonight. I'm not here for either one of them. I don't care for either one of them. I don't know what either one of them's storyline would be. I don't know if Kim would be discussing her divorce with Croy. And I feel like in one
or her stealing from her daughters.
Or her stealing from her daughter that her daughter has been talking about in NYC Next Generation. I don't know that it would be the smartest thing for her to do to go back to Real Housewives of Atlanta unless she just needs the money. Who knows? But
she was when she came back last time, she was just so unnecessary. She wasn't trying to talk to people or nothing. She was acting like she was all the way up here. And it's like, you're supposed to be on the show. You need to have at least 1 to 2 friends. And
right.
Just having Sheree, it's just not enough. And personally, I think that's exactly how it's going to be again. If that's true, it would just be her talking to Sheree and nobody else because she thinks she's above everybody else.
Yeah.
Oh, no, she's not. She might talk to Shamia, though, because she got real money.
That's true. She might try to leash off her a little bit. But anyways, I still remember that scene with Kim and Candy when they were sitting down at the table and Kim was like, girl, you don't participate in nothing that we do. Like, you don't want to go out with us. You don't want to go on trips with us. You don't want to meet up with us for one-on-ones, for group things. Like, you are not here, girl. And And you know, if you're not going to participate and you are being paid to participate, then you're wasting not only your own time, but you're wasting our time as viewers. And we don't need to be wasting our time watching you doing nothing. Um, and I don't know what viewers would be interested in seeing Kim Zolciak again. I really don't understand. I understand the fanfare about having Nene back on the show, and Nene has confirmed that she won't be returning for season 17. And she said that she wouldn't return as a friend of either, which I think it would be a little weird to see Nene return as a friend of. If Nene returns, she needs to have a peach. That's the only way that I need to see Nene back on the show. But anyways, I don't want to see Kim back. Sheree Whitfield. Sheree has never brought anything to this show. Never brought anything. Well, she did have Who Gonna Check Me Boo. I mean, that's always going to be
And a little
classic and
tug of the
legendary.
hair.
Yes, and a little tug of hair as well. She just wanted to shift Kim's wig in that instance. But to me, I see Sheree sort of kind of in a similar vein as I see Phaedra, whereas I don't think Sheree is as conniving as Phaedra might be, but I just never liked either one of them. Same as I've never really liked Portia. They've just never been my vibe. I wouldn't want to hang out with them. I wouldn't want to be friends with them. I really wouldn't want to be in their presence necessarily. But for me, like, what would Sheree bring to the show? Like, what would Sheree have going on that we would be interested in seeing? And just the same with Kim. Are there any fans that are asking for Sheree to come back? Because I've never known Sheree to have too many fans. I don't know, like, people might, tolerate Sheree, but I've never heard of any like reviewers or reactors like living for Sheree. I don't know who really is living for Sheree. That's not to say that Sheree is not a fabulous woman on the outside. Absolutely. She's gorgeous, has a beautiful body. Always, hair is always on point, makeup always on point. But as far as us
No matter
being
who she
and
had to borrow, beg, and steal from.
to get it, exactly. But regardless of any of that, I'm not interested. I'm just speaking about myself. I'm not interested in seeing Sheree or Kim Zolciak back on this show. I think that would be a waste of time. I think that will be a waste of Bravo's money. They bring nothing to the show at all. They bring nothing to the show. And I really don't see, especially Kim. Now, I might see Sheree being integrated into the current group, but I really don't see Kim being integrated into this current group. Once again, like, yes, she might try to buddy up with Shamia, but who would want to be around Kim? Who would want to talk to Kim? I just don't see that as being a good thing. And once again, these are just rumors. They haven't been confirmed. I'm still banking on the woman from the slutty vegan and K Michelle coming. I'm hoping that
Oh gosh.
is the real story. I hope that that's what happens. Jennifer, if you could read that comment then for
Miss
us.
Kim says, bring back, excuse me, bringing back Kim and Sheree when nobody wants to see them. Bring Nene back. I agree wholeheartedly. Nene might have not been my favorite, but I understood the value that she brought to the show. So I certainly
Absolutely.
agree. Bianca says, I'd love to see Sheree with Angela since she dated Charles.
Hmm.
Hmm,
That could be interesting. I think
but
Angela will be able to handle Sheree for sure.
okay. Good. Anyway, Miss Kim says Sheree barely got She by Sheree off the ground. She still has no storyline.
Still, still.
Hmm. Is Shamia coming back? Yeah, she is.
Hmm.
But yeah, I feel the same way as Miss Kim. I'm not. I'm thinking that we're just turning our wheels now at this point.
Right.
It's
Exactly.
like, oh, all right. If it is the case, if it's what's true, because let me tell you something. If they got K Michelle, that's
She would turn it out, honey. Turn it
O
UT
U
out.
T, because even the times where she was on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, right?
Hmm.
And she was just off to the side and didn't want to be around the foolishness. She read everybody.
Everybody.
She read and did and even like stuck up for other women. There was one for the Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. She was calling I think it was one of them producers that was
Okay.
acting a fool. She basically called him a woman because you over here always trying to come at a woman. But she she did that.
Hmm.
I need to find that clip so you can see it. But
Okay.
she was just the best at gathering. She's just as good as any of them in Miami goods. That's another reason why I enjoyed those Miami reunions because the way that Trina would get after people that oof, child.
Yeah.
A lot of
Trina's
reading.
the Trina's real for real.
Absolutely. Um,
Absolutely.
Miss Kim says Charles would pay Sheree Dust.
For real. Absolutely. He wouldn't act like he even knew her or met her.
Okay, who? Miss Kim says K Michelle would drag Kim to hell and back.
Okay. I also saw a rumor that Carly Red was possibly going to be on Housewives of
Ain't no
Atlanta,
way.
but I don't believe that
Ain't
at
no way.
all. Like at
Ain't
all. That
no
was just so
way.
random. Ain't no way.
Like,
Ain't
cause,
no
cause,
way.
'cause if somebody said, now you're just talking. Ain't no way.
Exactly. Exactly.
Bianca says, I don't think Sheree would come for Charles. It's clear that Angela is a jealous woman and Sheree ain't no punk. She'll throw hands in a hot second. So I would love to see their dynamic, Miss Kim. Mm.
Wow. Okay. Oh, all right. Yeah, I think Angela can handle Sheree, but I also think Sheree can possibly handle Angela. Even though Sheree has never been the best with comebacks necessarily, she's
Mhm.
never been quick on her feet. You know, the whole summer, spring, fall,
That's how
joggers
you
and
know. Joggers.
lifestyle and the contractor. I mean, they were misappropriating funds and but yeah, she's never been sure of the words coming out of her mouth. So I don't know how she would be able to get with an Angela or a Shamia or a Portia or a Phaedra for that matter. So, it is what it is. But anyways, Jennifer, why don't you go ahead and give the good people watching, honey, your social media contacts for us?
You sure?
Yes, please.
Miss Kim says Sheree dropped out of school in eighth grade.
Wow. I had no idea. Was that shade? Was that a read?
No, I think I've heard that,
Oh,
Jonathan.
wow. Okay.
But allegedly, I
Yeah,
guess.
literally.
Um, for me, where's mine? Hold please. This is not alleged right here.
No, this is not. This is real stuff.
I'm about to say, so when
Real.
Tyrone added himself, did he want to take me out?
Uh-oh. He didn't take you out, girl, did he?
He didn't. Follow me. I'm at the Light of the Leo. Go ahead and follow me on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. I do have a show where I come here live every single Monday at 9. Oh, I ain't gonna be here next Monday. Um, and we will be here next Thursday.
Right.
Well, I'm sure you're gonna have your announcements. I'm sorry. Sorry for stepping in there.
I announced it at the top of the show, but I am going to announce it again.
Okay, cool. So, follow me and see me there 9 p.m. on Mondays. Go ahead and make sure to connect with Tyrone McCullum. That's my husband, Mr. T.D. McCullum himself. And you'll find his YouTube channel at Unveiled Vibrations. He tries to go live on Wednesday nights. And of course, we won't be here this Wednesday. Join us on Faithful Warrior Ministries, though. We're able to remain faithful on Faithful Warrior Ministries. You'll see us live at 10-ish a.m. every single Saturday. Come together, even if it's just a 2-minute prayer, we're going to come together and do just that. So meet us here, at Faithful Warrior Ministries on YouTube, and you'll be able to join us for prayer and some coming together for sure.
All righty. You guys can follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is JoJo_speaks3020. My Facebook is Jonathan Lee. My email is williamjonathanlee@gmail.com. My Cash App is $Jonathan Lee 07. That's $JONATHANLEE07. Once again, as I announced at the beginning of the show, I will not be doing any content next week. My family will be going on a cruise vacation, so they'll be enjoying their vacation. I'll be enjoying my time off. So Won't be any videos next week, but the week after, we will be resuming all regular programming. So please be patient with us as we enjoy some time off. Love you guys for watching. See you guys in 2 weeks. Love you guys. Have a wonderful weekend and stay cool out there because it's hot outside the door, y'all. Bye.
Hey.